Well, in typical fashion, nothing's going as planned. So I got my blocks in there for that side of the shower stall. Come over to this side because I need to put block pieces in here, and realize that that board right there, you can see it line up there, is about a 1/2 inch warped. So I got all my plumbing in there and everything. I can't really replace that board. I can't really put a stiff back in it. So trying to figure out what to do here on this. I guess what I could do is cut that up there and let this thing move around and move it this way, see how far off we are, cut the part that's off, then scab in a piece on the side. That would work. That'd work. I'll do that. Okay, I cut the board, cut it loose up there. I've got it about where I want it now. As you can see up here at the top now, how far that has pushed it out to get me close down below. So I'm going to have to do now is I'll take the level up there on this back side, shoot a level, and then run a line on it and cut it off with the I'll probably use a sawzall. I don't know if I can get up there with the skill saw. And then down here is all good to go now. So if I put this level up against it, you can see it's touching all the 2x4 or all the studs now, which is what I want. But as I go up higher, you'll see that gap here is getting bigger because that 2x6 is warped. So what I'll have to do once I get this in is run a nailer down the length of this 2x6, so that as the drywall gets put on it, it can get nailed into this side since the board's going to go like that. Okay, so I cut my strip off of that side. Not very straight because it's a sawzall. Hard to cut straight with the sawzall. Anyways, the piece I cut off, I put on the table saw and just smoothed it up and nailed it to the backside or tacked it here, and now that's actually works out pretty good. I no longer have to put a nailer in the side there. So I just put that, tack that piece in, and now I'm straight as can be. So like I said, I do need to, I couldn't get the skill saw in here, although I probably should have tried a little harder because this is not exactly perfect. So I may need to actually put a nailer on this side now. I don't know, we'll see. Putting my back piece in now. I'm gonna need to add some more blocking. Running one across here. That one takes care of that one. Run one across here. And then on this side, I'll probably do the same thing. I'll just run them where each one of these are. Okay, now I think I'm pretty much where I want to be on all my blocking. To tell you the truth, in the future, if I ever do something like this, I think I'll just take the wall and push it back 7/16 to 1/2 inch of an inch and just sheet the wall and then do it that way. That would have made this so much easier. I wouldn't have to do any blocking. I could have just slapped it right in there and knowing everything would have been nice and neat and good. Okay, the pan's been sitting here for about 2 days now, and walking on it, I don't feel any flexing or anything at all. It's more the long term to see if it'll stand up to wear and tear. So I'm getting ready to put the side on. I've already test fit it and it fits in there pretty good. So what I'm going to do is take adhesive, run up and down these 3 studs right here. So I get a nice smooth coating on there on all 3 of these, and then push it up there and hold it on for a little bit until it sticks real good. And I'll get my screws up along the sides and down. Now, one thing I did too, my screws here on the bottom, I went ahead and covered them up with that liquid flashing as well. They shouldn't rust or anything, but just to make sure, put a little bit extra coating on there to be safe. Well, it's in, but I don't like it. I really like to do one pieces. The 3-piece or 4-piece ones, they just never seem to go together very well. And the plastic's pretty cheap. You can see it moving there. I suppose if I had planned this out better, I mentioned earlier when I was doing all the blocking, it would have been nice to just have OSB around the whole outside, or something that's solid. That would have done a lot better in dealing with this. I know I put a lot of blocking in this side, or both sides, and it's actually pretty firm there, but you can see how that is bending, pushing. Probably be fine, no big deal. One thing I did notice at the bottom though, it is a little bit concerning, is that's got a pretty good movement to it. So even though there's glue back there, the bottom part comes out and is pulled away. So I suppose what could happen is moisture could evaporate up behind the wall and then cause the moisture mold issues behind there. So although I didn't want to caulk under there, I probably end up just to make sure that doesn't happen. So not fun. 1-piece showers, 1-piece stalls are so much better because there's no caulking at all. You just put it in and you're done. I don't know. So far in this house, seems like the shower is the only thing we skimped out on. I think that's gonna bite us in the butt. I can see here on the back side, some of the glue pushed up and is tight against the board. You can see some oozed out there too. So at least I know the back side of it is glued on there good anyways. Just gotta get the faucet and everything installed, and this one will be done. So here's a good reason on why you want to leave yourself enough room. It's a little tight quarters working in here, but I think I'll get it worked out. I left enough pipe on this hose here that I can pull this out, get my clamp on there. I can get in my hot and cold and be able to lean this back and put everything on before I slap it up against inside there like that. So a little tight quarters, but I'm making it work. So we got that's going to be for the shower hose fitting there. I ran it long enough again so I can pull this up, but then also I can screw this in down here. This way when the water's turned on and off, it's not going to go like that and make noise. It'll be nice and locked in place. Wrapping up the bathroom. Yeah, I've got the faucet fixture installed, or the shower fixture installed. This is where the hose will come out for the shower hose, and then that is a really high shower head. Barry, who's going to be using this shower primarily, is over 6 foot, so we made sure we got that up high enough for him. And unlike the one upstairs, the shower is up about here. This one shouldn't have any problem. You're supposed to keep this 8 inches below your valve to make sure that the water will go up properly. Again, this will have a shut-off valve on it, so when we want to have the water diverted to the top, you'll just shut that off with a little shut-off, and that will come out the top. On the back side is a spaghetti mess of plumbing, but it's all put together there now. A lot of plumbing in this wall, but it's all fits together pretty darn good. The only thing I have seen some people do is they'll put insulation down in this area just to keep any moisture from down there coming up is the idea. That may not be a bad idea. I may go ahead and shove some in there just for the heck of it, because there is just basically open ground down there. If you're in a basement and you have an opening like that, it's a good place for radon to get in. Anytime you're in a lower level, radon's a heavier gas, so anytime you're in a lower level of a house and you have a hole in your slab, chances are radon's coming up. Radon's formed from the natural decay of rocks, and the rocks are everywhere. So most places are going to have some sort of radon. We see that a lot in here, a lot in this area. But let's see, I did put a block up against this last night to push the glue against it, and it is a lot better now than it was. It still has some play. There's nothing there to have it glued to. It would have been great if it would have had it over there also, but at least the center part is tucked in a lot better. I also did notice that down here is a nice hole, so I'm not going to get away with not being able to caulk everything. I'm going to have to definitely caulk those corners, make sure water stays in there and does not come out. But fit together all pretty good. So that's one more thing off the list. I also got my OSB up on this wall. So this is where the pocket door is. This way we can have towel rods on here. We'll screw into the OSB and won't affect the pocket door sliding in through here. So as long as we use screws, probably no more than 3/4 of an inch, that would be ideal for that. So I just turned the cold water onto here and everything's working the way it should. One thing to note in here though is that this drain I'll turn on for a little bit. See how loud that is? Pretty loud. So that's because the actual trap is about probably 18 inches down that pipe. So what you end up with is water flowing into a pipe like that, and it can get pretty loud. No real way to fix it, and I really couldn't have fixed it in the first place. So it is what it is. So on the flow of this, I don't know why, but the center is holding water, almost like it dips here. And that makes no sense to me. I leveled everything the way it was supposed to be, but right here it's holding a little bit of water. So we'll see how well it drains. It still drained a little bit, but that's pretty disappointing. I don't think about that yet. I don't really know how to fix it. I don't even know if it's fixable. So this Ovation tub from Home Depot has been a real pain in the butt. I will never buy one again. Well, not happy. You can see right here the water is stopping right here. There's no water coming across this part. So this water is just going to rest in here. And there's probably an 1/8 inch, at least 1/8 to 1/4 inch of water right here in the center of the dang thing. And there is no way for me to fix it. You can see the outline right around here. It's this low spot right in the center of the dang shower. Okay, so hear me out here. This could be really stupid. What if I took my router bit with a round bit on it and just ran a line straight into here? And then I could go back through and get some gloss appliance paint and paint it. Then this big stinking puddle right here would drain the way it should have in the first place. Might work. I don't know. Maybe. Well, I called Home Depot about this stupid shower, and they said that they could refund me for the base if I brought it in. And I said, well, that's great, but in order to take the base out, I got to rip the walls apart, and those being glued to the studs, they're probably not going to come off very easily, and I may damage them. So he goes, well, I can give you half off the price of the basin just as a refund for it being defective, or I can rip the whole thing out and take it back in, and they would refund me or exchange it. I really don't want to get the same shower basin since this one was such a piece of junk putting in. I have another one I could replace it with that should fit okay. With the measurements looked like the distance between here and the wall was the same, but this way was a 1/2 inch in this direction difference. No, it was a 1/2 inch in this direction difference. I don't know how much that would still be able to bend, work or not, or what. So it's clearly a manufacturer defect. In order to get this thing to drain properly, I would have to raise this back end probably a good 1/2 inch or so to get it to drain all the way through. Another option would be to get maybe epoxy and then let the epoxy pool here in the center since it's self-leveling, and then that would raise this level and hopefully let it drain. That's an option too. I've used epoxy before and I think it would be okay. I wonder if we could use the epoxy and then put one of those stick down non-slip surfaces over the top of it. That's a possibility as well. So pissed about it, but it'll be a lot of work to rip it out. And drywall's coming in a few days, and I got other things to tackle. So I guess we will leave this, and I'll take my credit. And if I got to rip it out in a year, I guess I rip it out in a year.